Most businesses are using YouTube completely backwards. They think they need thousands of subscribers, expensive equipment, or some viral video before YouTube can actually bring them clients. They don't. You can start generating qualified leads with literally zero subscribers because the people that they're targeting aren't sitting scrolling around looking for entertainment. They're actively searching for problems that your business already solves. So in this video, I'm going to show you how you can build a search-first content library that continues to bring the right people into your business over time. So the entire idea is pretty simple. Someone searches for a problem and then your video earns their trust, and then that trust turns into a lead. Search, trust, lead. That's the system that we're going to break down. So the first thing that you need to do is stop trying to become a YouTuber. I see a lot of founders making this mistake, but seriously, like, if your goal is to generate leads for a business, you really do not need to entertain to millions of people. You don't need to build your entire personality around content, and you definitely don't need to spend your life chasing trends. Because I'm going to be honest, your job is much simpler than that. It's to become the clearest, most useful answer to one valuable search your ideal client is already making. So instead of like asking what video could get the most views, ask what problem is my best prospect trying to solve before they need something like my offer. Because now you're not creating content just to stay alive. You're creating content around existing buyer intent. And because of that, you do not need a massive audience. You do not need to go viral. You do not need to upload every single day. It's honestly because 100 views from the exact people that you want can be worth more than 100,000 views from people who will never buy anything from you. Like, imagine you run a consulting firm, right? Would you rather have 50 business owners watch your video because they're actively trying to solve the problem that you handle? Or would you rather get 50,000 views from random teenagers who click because the thumbnail looked interesting? The second number looks better, but the first one actually makes you money. So the goal is not to reach everybody. It's to get the right person finding the right video at the exact moment the problem becomes important to them. Now the whole system can be fitted into 3 words: search, trust, lead. You can create videos around demand that already exists. You're not trying to convince somebody to care about a completely random topic. They have already decided that the problem matters enough to search for an answer. Then comes trust. Your video needs to solve that problem more clearly and more honestly than everybody else competing for their attention. And then you have the lead. So once you've helped them solve the immediate problem, you give them one obvious next step. Not 5 different links, not a big follow for more, one relevant next step. So yeah, the video is not just content. You could say that it's basically a bridge, right? It takes someone from searching for an answer to trusting your expertise to entering your business. And when I say unlimited leads, I'm obviously not saying that one video is going to produce infinite clients overnight. But what I mean is that the system isn't capped by the lifespan of one post. A normal social media post might perform for a day, maybe a week, and then it disappears under everything else. A search-led YouTube video can continue being discovered months or even years after you publish it. But the real power starts when the videos connect. One video gives you a chance. 12 videos give you data. You're going to start seeing what people click, what they're going to watch, what problems create inquiries, and what topics don't really go anywhere. And once you get to that 50 strong connected video point, you no longer will have just content, right? You're going to have a system. Different videos are going to be bringing in different buyers into the business every day. Okay, so where do the video ideas actually come from? You're going to start with what buyers are already searching. And the question I want you to ask is, what is my best prospect typing into YouTube when this problem becomes painful? Not what would make you sound intelligent, not what your team wants to talk about, but what is the prospect actually typing? So for Dyson Labs, that might be things like how to get B2B leads, how to get clients without cold calling, or how to use YouTube for lead generation. Notice that these aren't random educational topics. Every search is connected to a painful business problem. They need more leads, they're tired of doing cold outreach, or they know YouTube could work, but they don't know how to turn it into an actual acquisition channel. So that's exactly where your content should begin. But also don't target every single keyword that you find, because there's this test that a good keyword needs to pass. 3 tests to be exact. The first one is real pain. There needs to be a costly problem or a valuable result driving the search. If solving the problem doesn't really matter to the viewer, they probably aren't going to take action even after the video ends. And the second test is offer fit. Now, solving the problem should naturally move the viewer closer to what you're actually selling. We don't want to build an audience around the topics that have nothing to do with our offer, and so offer fit matters. And now the third test is whether the keyword is winnable. The search should be specific enough that a smaller channel has a realistic chance of becoming one of the best results. So a simple filter for all these tests is, would I happily pay to put this exact viewer in front of my offer? If the answer is no, the keyword probably isn't worth building a video around. For example, how to grow a business is way too broad. You have no idea who's searching that. It could be a freelancer, a restaurant owner, a student doing research, or somebody who hasn't even started a business yet. Now, how to get B2B leads is better. Now we understand the kind of problem and the type of viewer. But how to get B2B leads without cold outreach is much stronger than either of those. That viewer is probably already running a B2B business. They understand lead generation. They may already be doing outbound, and they're actively searching for a different client acquisition channel. So generally, the more accurate your title describes the buyer situation, the fewer fewer irrelevant views you're gonna attract. And the more qualified those little views that you get will be. So specificity turns viewers into buyers. And before we continue, this is exactly the kind of research you do at Dyson Labs. We map out the search topics our buyers are already looking for, the exact keywords that your channel should target, and the path that turns those viewers into leads. And we'll show you the entire plan before you have to decide anything. So if you want us to map the entire system around your offer, you can request a free YouTube growth plan by booking a call in the link below. Anyway, let's get back into how the actual videos are going to be made. So once you've chosen the right keywords, the next step is to make the best answer. Not the most complicated video, not the video with the craziest editing, the best answer. First, the video needs to match the search exactly. If somebody clicks a video about getting B2B leads without cold outreach, don't spend 5 minutes talking about your background or giving generic motivation. Answer the thing they searched. Second, kill the biggest objection early. If they're thinking this probably only works if I already have an audience, which most of you probably are, then you need to address that immediately. The answer is no. It works regardless. Third, solve one problem completely. Don't try to cover everything you know in one video. And finally, keep every promise you make in the title. If the title promises a process, give them the process. The trust is going to disappear the moment the viewer thinks that the title tricked them. So here's a simple structure that works really well. Promise, problem, process, proof. And then finally, the next step. You begin with the promise. Tell the viewer what they're about to learn and why it matters. Then explain the problem. Show them why what they've already tried hasn't worked and isn't producing the result that they want. After that, give them the process. This is the actual step-by-step information that they came for. Then, give them the proof. That could be a fine example, your own experience, a demonstration, a result, or even just a logical breakdown showing why the process works. And finally, you're going to give them the last step. The important part I want you to focus on here is that a viewer should understand why the next step matters. You don't want the video to feel like 5 unrelated points pushed together. Each section should naturally pull them into the next one. Now, your first 30 seconds are going to decide whether the rest of the video even gets watched or not in the first place. You don't need some dramatic introduction, you just need to confirm that the viewer clicked the right video. A good opening might sound something like, you clicked this video because you want to generate B2B leads without spending your entire day doing cold outreach. Then you bring up the mistake. Something like, most businesses try to use YouTube like social media, which is why they post for months and never generate a single qualified inquiry. And then you made the payoff clear by saying something along the lines of, by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to choose topics that your buyers are already searching for and turn those viewers into sales calls. Now that's it. You've matched their intent, created a reason to keep watching, and you've removed the doubt that the video is going to waste their time. So once you find one strong keyword, please don't treat it like a one-off video. Turn it into a content cluster. So I'm going to tell you how you can do that. Let's say the seed keyword is how to get leads from YouTube, right? That one topic can create multiple connected videos. You could make a video about choosing YouTube keywords that attract clients, another one about turning YouTube views into sales calls, another about why a channel gets views but no leads. You could create a specific YouTube SEO guide for coaches and consultants. So these are basically different searches, but they all attract a similar buyer. And because the topics are connected, every single video is going to strengthen the previous one. You're not constantly starting from zero, right? You're slowly owning an entire category of problems in the viewer's mind. Okay, so ideally, one viewer should not watch one video and disappear, obviously. So what we need them to do is become a 3-video binge. They watch video A because it answers the problem that they searched. Inside the video, you mention another problem they're likely to have, and then you send them to video B. Video B is going to take them deeper and then move them into video C. And after those 3 videos, they reach your next step. You can build this path using verbal references inside the script, end screens, link in the description, and pinned comments. But the verbal reference is probably the most important part. You can literally say something like, once you've chosen the keyword, you still need to know how to structure the video so it turns viewers into sales calls. I've got another video showing you exactly how to do that. Now the next video feels necessary instead of randomly recommended, right? Okay, and because a view is not a lead until there's a path, the video should solve the problem that the viewer actually searched for. Then the call to action should solve the next problem that appears. For example, this video explains the overall system for getting B2B leads from YouTube, right? But after watching it, your next question might be, okay, but what exact topics and keywords should my business target? And that is why the next step is a YouTube growth plan. The same principle could apply to an audit, a checklist, a template, a calculator, or some other resource. The CTA shouldn't feel like you suddenly stopped helping and started pushing. Okay, now I'm gonna make this really practical for you guys. If you want to build this, you can do it in 90 days. During week 1, you're gonna collect 30 searches your ideal buyers might be making, and filter those down to the strongest 12 based on paying, offer fit, and how winnable they are. From weeks 2 to 13, publish one search-led video every single week. That's nothing crazy, honestly, just one useful, properly targeted video each week. After every 4 videos, stop and review the data. Look at which topics are getting impressions, which titles are getting clicked, where viewers are leaving, and most importantly, which videos are creating qualified leads for your business. Now you're just gonna double down on what's working. The first few videos may not immediately explode, and that's fine because that's how YouTube usually works. Consistency gives YouTube enough data to understand your content, and then the data shows you where the actual buyers qualify as art. Now, the important part is that you also need to measure the pipeline, not just the popularity. The first metric you're going to measure is search impressions. Is YouTube actually showing a video to people searching around that topic? Then look at the click-through rate. When people see the title and thumbnail, are they choosing to click your video? After that, you're going to look at the viewer retention. Once they click, does the video hold their attention and actually deliver on the promise? And finally, the most important part is that you're going to measure qualified leads per 1,000 views. This last metric matters way more than any other metric you could measure. A video with 500 views that generates 3 strong sales calls is worth way more than a video with 20,000 views that generates nothing. So over time, the videos are going to start stacking, right? One video is going to give you the data, you learn what people respond to, how to search and where to lose interest. And by video 12, we have the beginning of a real content library. You're covering multiple searches, answering related questions, and giving viewers different entry points into your business. By video 50, you will have a genuine, consistent pipeline that's going to book you clients for years to come. And somebody's going to discover a video you published 8 months ago, they're going to watch 2 more, and then they're going to request the next step. And all of that can happen without you manually contacting them or publishing something the same day. This is the compounding effect of YouTube. Every video becomes another asset working inside the same acquisition system. So yeah, the goal is to build a library, not a feed. You're not posting just to stay visible for the next 24 hours. You're building a collection of answers around the problems that your ideal clients are already searching for. They search, your videos earn their trust, and the trust creates the lead. Search, trust, lead. That is exactly how YouTube becomes an actual acquisition channel instead of another content showing your team has to keep up with. And you can start doing this with 0 subscribers. You just need the right searches, the right videos, and a clear path into your business. So if you want Dyson Labs to build an entire system around your offer, book a free call with the link mentioned below. You'll map out the topics, the keywords, and the lead path we recommend for your business completely for free. And yeah, see you in the